From family law specialist Payne Lawyers. How are you, Annette?
Oh, I'm great, Pete. How are you?
Yeah, very good. You're looking great today.
Oh, thank you.
Business is booming as usual.
Well, we could say that.
It's
It's always
terrible,
booming, isn't it?
It's terrible. It's terrible. What is it? One in two marriages break up, don't they, these days?
I don't know if it's that much anymore.
No,
I
it's
think
a high percentage
I think
in the
it's
second.
1 in 3 now, actually. But a lot of people don't get married, so it's a matter of you've got to count the de factos in there as well.
Yes, in Holland hardly anybody gets married. It's really strange there. So what have you got for us today? This is a different one, isn't it? Annie, by the way, can we take calls as well?
Yeah,
Yes,
absolutely.
we can take calls 13 13 32 if you'd like to ask now. NOW. What part of NOW don't you understand? Because what happens is, at 5 to 2, everybody calls. And don't forget, if you are going through this difficult situation, Payne Lawyers will make it very simple for you. They will. They did it for me and Sandra, and they did it, did it very well, as a matter of fact. And everybody was happy. Don't forget, the first consultation is absolutely free, and you won't get that from anybody else. So, Payne Lawyers, 3221 2044, and call now if you'd like some free advice first up.
Thanks, Pete.
What's the story?
I just want to do a bit of a chat about, this was an application by a mother of a young child trying to get Dad basically liable for child support. So Dad wasn't on the birth certificate. They had a very brief, I think, a one-night stand type of relationship. For the mother to get child support from the father, because it wasn't on the birth certificate, and he didn't sign a document to say he was the father, she had to actually seek DNA testing from him, so she had to apply to the court. Normally you have to serve such an application personally. She sent a number of letters to him, to his family, etc., couldn't find him. So she went to the court and said, look, he's got a Facebook page. Would it be acceptable to send him a letter on Facebook, and would that be considered service? And the court said, well, yeah, it would be. And what happened was, of course, as soon as she sent the letter to him on Facebook, he took his Facebook site down. And she then tried him on his MySpace site, and he took that down too. So in the end, the court said, look, because she's tried all of these things, including trying on Facebook, that would be considered service. And because he hasn't responded, the court made an order that he was deemed to be the father of the child without any testing or anything required. And from that situation, he has to pay child support.
Wow.
So it does show a couple of things. One is that the court is kind of keeping with the times a bit and saying, look, if you can't serve him the normal way, perhaps try something like Facebook where it's going to be brought to his attention as possible way of serving. But also saying, look, if this bloke's going to keep avoiding, what's going on, he's just going to be deemed to be the father and he's going to have to pay up. Obviously, he could probably say, look, well, at the end of the day, I'm not the father, I'll have a DNA test anyway, but he's deemed to be the father if he doesn't do anything to respond to the application. So,
yes, they're not out to get you, but, I suppose they need to be chased out. Fathers that, we don't know if he was the father, but no. I would suspect that his behaviour shows that he is the father.
It's not just...
Maybe he doesn't know, maybe...
I think he knows, yeah. But it's also any application you want to serve, like for property settlement or for kids' orders, there might be a way of doing it through electronic means such as Facebook if you can't find where they are.
There's another reason not to be on Facebook.
Absolutely.
Don't tell
Facebook's great.
Are you on Facebook?
I love it.
Do you?
I love it.
What do? Go home all night and Facebook?
Yeah, I say, I love MasterChef, watching MasterChef now,
So you Twitter? You tweet?
Yeah, basically just put your status on there as to what you're up to,
Do you do that all the time?
Pretty much. I don't have a very exciting life.
Oh, dear.
I'm afraid.
So you've got friends on the Facebook?
I've got about 141 now.
Oh.
So I'm doing all right.
Oh, that's nothing. I've got 2,300.
I bet you do.
I don't have any. I don't do net. I don't do that sort of stuff at all.
Why not? Well, it's fun.
I find it, look, I spend my whole day communicating with people.
That's true. You just don't want to talk to people after a while.
Well, that's not true either. I do. I really do enjoy that, but I don't need to do it on a mass scale because I do it on a mass scale for 3 hours a day.
And on a computer.
Yeah. So
this is the other issue.
Here he is, ladies and gentlemen, drum roll, Ted from Deception Bay.
Good afternoon, how are you?
Good, thanks.
Hi, Ted.
Mate, I was listening to that story there, and I just thought to myself, isn't that just typical?
Yes, exactly.
One night of fun and you spend the rest of your life paying for it.
That's the way it goes, Ted.
Yeah, I think it's miserable, but in this case, I think if he is the father, he's got to pay maintenance.
Yep. They should
can't avoid it forever.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, something conciliatory from Ted. Amazing. and Tina. Hello, Tina.
Yes, good afternoon. I'm just inquiring. I have an adult son who's married, but he has a child to another lady who's now 9, and he's asked me the question, when would be a good time to tell the child that she has a natural father?
That's probably out of your league, isn't it?
Well, he's asked me because I'm his mother, and he just was asking my advice, and I thought, well, maybe you could give me advice.
So it's his partner's child, is that right?
His first partner, yes, the child's 9, but he's now married with 2 children of his own.
And he doesn't have a relationship with that child?
No.
Okay. Has he ever met the child?
When she was first born, that was about it.
Okay.
And now the mother's asking, because I think she wants to, the partner that she's living with, he wants to adopt the child, but in order to do that, they have to tell the child that she's adopted.
Yeah, and of course that they have to get his consent to it.
Yes, so when would be ever a good time to tell the child that she does have a natural father living in a different state?
I think it depends on the maturity of the child, I suppose, and what she's been told. But this does happen often where a child just doesn't know that a certain person is the father, and it's usually done with the assistance of a counsellor.
All right.
Who basically sort of probably introduces them, not necessarily as this is your dad, but this is just a friend of the family sort of thing, meet them, and then after a couple of visits, then they reintroduce them as their father. But the counsellor who does it initially must to make sure the child's ready for it.
Yes, so go to a counsellor.
Yeah, definitely go through counselling.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your help.
That's all right.
Tina. Evan. G'day, Evan.
Hi, Peter. I'd like a question for Annette.
Yep.
What is the legal age for a child when he or she can make a decision to live with a mum or a dad?
There's no set age as such. The wishes of the child in relation to parenting arrangements is always something to be taken into account, but as they get older, those wishes become more important. And my experience is that children probably above about 10 and 11, once they start to make fairly good decisions about what they want to do, those wishes are factored in. When you have teenage kids, pretty much the court will say, look, they can walk with their feet. So if you've got, say, a 13 or 14-year-old, if they have very strong views about changing residence, they can pretty much just pick up and move in. There's very little a court can do about it. But it's sort of the 10, 11 age group where it really, you know, on one hand, just if it's a really mature child, then those wishes would be held to be pretty important.
Yeah, I have a son who's turning 13 this year, and mum has got a new relationship and new children and everything, and he wants to go and live with me. But mum doesn't let him.
Yeah. Well, certainly if his views are very strong and he's got good reasons for those views, and it's not just a whim or he's had his fight with mum or something, and if you're sure that he's genuine about those views, then what I would be doing is instituting mediation to have a chat to mum about it, and through that process you can also involve your son, and your son can have a chat to the mediator about what he wants, and then the mediator goes back to the two of you and gives you some feedback about that. Yeah. And if the mediation fails, then if you want to, you can go to court and get an order that your son live with you.
Okay, so the mediator would be like a solicitor?
No, they're not a solicitor. Generally, they can be, but you normally go through the family relationship centres because they give you your first three sessions for free.
Okay, thank you, mate. Just one quick caller to wrap it up. Wesley?
Yeah, so I'm all for the male, everyone paying their fair share, but I would call that entrapment. A one-night stand, she's pregnant, you got to pay the rest of your life. I would say he'd have a good court case.
Would he?
Well, unfortunately, there's no, you can't sue for that sort of thing. I've been asked that question a few times.
But not sue, but get it right because it's entrapment. They didn't have a long-standing relationship. It was one night stand. Now it's his word against her word that she said she was on the pill. He didn't wear naturally a raincoat, so now we've got a problem.
Okay, Wes.
Well, I think he should have worn a raincoat.
Jeez. Oh, what a mixed up old world it is out there, and I know all about it. I'm living walking proof of it. Annette, thank you very much. Don't forget, Annette Lakey is available at Payne Lawyers for 4BC listeners and for anybody, but 4BC listeners, the first consultation, of course, is absolutely free. Take advantage of that. 3221 2044. They take us through the whole process like they did with me, and they take a lot of the pain out of it. 3221 2044. Thank you very much.